Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is all now like Donkey Kong. XCN is the biggest gainer of the day. You can see it right here, up 16.6%, and we are absolutely tearing through resistance. Another one of my favorite coins, XDC, is also on the move, up 12.1%. So we've got a 1-2 punch right here in the crypto bubbles. And as you glance at the rest of the crypto landscape, it pretty much speaks for itself. Momentum is building, confidence is returning, and certain coins are really starting to break free from months of consolidation. So, let's dive into what's happening and why this could be a game-changing moment. Now, I completely forgot to bring this up earlier, but it's critical. The Fedwire Funds Service goes live today. This is huge. I mentioned it in a tweet earlier, but I didn't load up the tab to show you guys in the video. But just know this. The Fedwire service going live is monumental for ISO 2022 compliant tokens. This includes coins like XLM, XDC ISO, and yes, XCN benefits indirectly from the shift. But even more intriguing, XCN is outperforming all of them on the daily charts. XYN is up 16%, and that's an explosive move. Let's unpack what that means technically and fundamentally. So first, let's step out for some wider context. We're switching over to the weekly chart, and as always, we'll start broad before zooming into more granular timeframes. On this weekly timeframe, we marked out some key hurdles in the previous video. We were aiming for the 2025 high near the 5-cent mark. That's a psychological barrier, as well as a technical one. We've also plotted the Fibonacci extensions, the 1.618 micro and the 2.618 macro, both of which line up with potential price targets, with one near $1. That's my midterm zone. Are those targets realistic? I personally think they are. And like I mentioned before, there's even a slim, and I stress slim, possibility that XCN could absolutely explode to the $6 region. That would be unprecedented. I'm not saying that's the base case or the most probable scenario, but if you've been in crypto long enough, you know wild runs happen. So I always like to keep a small moon bag, just a tiny portion of my holdings, in case the unimaginable happens. This way, I stay in the game and enjoy the ride. Because let's be real, pulling all your profits out early might be wise, but you also miss the adrenaline, the dopamine, and yes, even the cortisol from volatile swings. It's part of the game. Okay, let's bring it back to the daily chart. This is where the breakout becomes crystal clear. We've been facing a lot of resistance near that 5-cent all-time high. Multiple wicks got rejected in the past. You can see them clearly marked, but the pressure built up. Finally, last Thursday and Friday, we got the breakout, and since then, we've been on an absolute tear. The price action has been phenomenal. Momentum is strong, volume is increasing, and retail interest is picking up again. So where are we headed next? For me, 5 cents is the next hurdle to test. If we break that convincingly, the floodgates could open. Let's switch over to the MACD, a classic momentum indicator. If we load it up here, you'll see that we've recently had a green dot confirmation on the daily time frame. That's bullish. If you had entered when that green dot appeared, you would have caught this rally almost perfectly. Now, the MACD isn't gospel. It had a false red dot before that, but it's one of many tools in the toolbox. Let's move over to Discord for a second. Within the crypto data section, you can simply type in XCN1D and get all the technical analysis metrics for the daily chart. These are updated frequently and provide incredible insights. So what do we see? Well, the RSI is signaling that we're overbought on the daily. That's not necessarily a bad thing. It can stay overbought during strong uptrends. Bollinger Bands show we're hugging the upper band, which implies strong price momentum but also signals caution. The average true range, ATR, suggests volatility is elevated. The 50-day simple moving average is bullish, and the MACD continues to show a bullish crossover. So taken together, this is a very favorable setup for continuation. Now let's talk about supply and demand zones. There's a small hurdle forming right around the 2-cent level, which has acted as minor resistance in the past. If XCN consolidates here for a day or two and builds some structure, we could see another leg up by Wednesday or Thursday. The next resistance would be in the 3 to 3.5 cent region. That's based on historical daily closes. So from our current price of around 2 cents, we're potentially looking at another 80% gain in the short term. That's pretty substantial. Let me just stress, even an 80% move in a week is incredible. For traders holding from 1 cent, that's almost a 2x already. But what if XCN breaks past that 5-cent region? Then we're looking at a potential 150% gain from here, which would be around a 2.5x move. That's huge. And if this turns into a true third wave of an Elliott wave structure, then 5 cents is just a stepping stone. Now, I'm personally not taking profits at 5 cents. That seems too conservative given the macro setup and potential for this third wave. What I am eyeing is the 16 to 19 cent region. That's where I'll begin to reassess my holdings and potentially de-risk a portion of the portfolio. These are the zones we talked about in yesterday's video. So if you haven't subscribed yet, now's the time. You'll want to stay updated as we approach those key inflection points. Once we reach 18 to 19 cents, I'll be looking closely at patterns forming in that zone. We'll assess whether continuation is likely or if a retracement is due. And of course, if you're in the Discord group, you can run all the metrics yourself by typing in XCN. That'll give you updated technical signals in real time. You'll see whether indicators remain green or if they start flipping bearish. Now let's stretch it out a bit further. Let's say we break the 19-cent order block. Then what? Well, the next obstacle I see is around 30 to 33 cents. That's a major macro level. Based on either a measured move or Fibonacci projection, I'll need to double-check which one. This zone becomes crucial. That's where we might start seeing more serious resistance. A 30-cent target would represent an absolutely phenomenal gain from current levels, so it's worth keeping in mind as a longer-term checkpoint. I want to pause here and acknowledge something important. This market has been brutal for months. Most of you, like me, have spent 90% of your time sitting on your hands, watching sideways price action, getting chopped out of trades, or worse, sitting underwater. That's part of the journey. But here's the good news. You're paid for the time you spend in the market. Not every hour, but over time, patient holders are rewarded. That's what we're seeing now with XCN. So take a moment to celebrate the wins. Make sure to drop a like on this post or video. As of filming, we've already picked up 19 likes, and it's only going to go higher as more people start to wake up to what's happening here. Momentum is back, confidence is returning, and XCN, once thought to be left behind, is making a comeback in a big way. So here's the game plan. I'll be keeping you posted every step of the way. Stay patient, stay focused, and most importantly, stay in the game. If you're not already in the Discord, join us. If you're not subscribed to the channel, what are you waiting for? We've got a front row seat to one of the most exciting altcoin runs of the year. Catch you in the next one. Let's go XCN fam.